Facel Vega convertible. Again, beautiful 60s styling. And if you wondered what a Facel Vega engine looked like, there we are. Looks sort of reminiscent of Italian twin cam design. But that's the engine that's in the car behind, or would be in the car behind. And then a 4x4 Peugeot 504 pickup in superb condition, beautiful. Very high lift as well, look at the height on that back deck. Wow, serious bit of kit. Who made it? Oh, it's a Dongel 4x4. I've seen an estate, Peugeot estate with that fitted. And then, next door, we've got some Hotchkisses. Imposing late 50s cars. As well as a smaller one for the less well-off aspiring Hotchkiss owner. 1939. Hamilcar. Hotchkiss Hamilcar. So a combination. Yeah, oui. Avant la guerre.
Avant-guerre.
Yeah. Ah, beautiful.
Très rare.
Yeah, très
Très rare.
Oui. And a bigger Hotchkiss saloon. And then behind that, a Gregoire. 61 Gregoire, 4-speed, front-wheel drive. And according to the little plaque, they only made 247 of them. Slightly bulbous styling, but probably in keeping with the period, I would have thought. Then a couple of bikes. It's badged up as a BPS, which is a French make, but it's actually a Moto Aspes Racer 125. Aspes used to make some great motocross bikes. Pokey, huge carburetor for the size, so this thing would have been fast. Then another Aspes Racer. Actually might badged up as an Aspes this time. Again, 1252 stroke radial fin head. It's got 32mm carb on it, which for a 125 is just staggering. So, seriously fast bike for its size. Lovely colour as well, love orange and white. And then we have BX corner. It makes you feel old when cars that were just your everyday runarounds are now regarded as classics. I think 4 BXs from memory, maybe 5. I used to pick them up dirt cheap. Very good cars though, got a lot of miles out of my BXs. Mind you, did a lot of work in them as well. But, there you go. Must be over 40 years old now, the BX. And then we hit motorbike corner. Or two-wheel corner. So, we have a selection of Solexes. Which really didn't change that much over the years. So we've got 1949, which that gentleman's just touching now. And then working back, 62, 64 to 85, 86. And really, there's not much difference. And then over in the corner, there's some mobilettes, which appear to have really taken off in France again. People seem to have gone mad for them. Prices are rocketing. Little Peugeot 104. Not sure what this little tri-porter is. Not sure what that's based on at all. Looks like an industrial engine. Suzuki GT 125. I was going to say 185, 125. Flandria moped from Holland. A couple more motorbicanes, mobilette, and then some real old classics. We've got the Sunbeam we saw right at the beginning when I walked in. Flat tank BSA. Somebody's taking some photographs, so I don't want to get in the way just for a minute, so I'll come round here. A DKW Hummel moped. Look at that engine. Absolutely tiny. Lovely little bike. Yeah, Sunbeam 35. BSA's a 1927. There's a Motor Goyon. A Peugeot. Oh, and a Jongi. I don't know much about Jongi. The man's polishing a Jongi. A 250 from 51. Twin port. Peugeot twin port next to it. Oh, and the Motor Goyon starting up. Or trying to start up. Maybe I'm jinxing him. And then we've got more rear engine Simcas. A couple of late ones. An earlier rally we saw before. Or is it a rally? No. Yes it is, I'm sure. Let's look at the badge. Oh, might just be a copy, yeah. But wonderful nonetheless. And then some X19s. It must be nice to live in a country with a climate that doesn't destroy motor cars like the UK, because you end up with so many more left. Mattress, an early Espace, has been converted into a camping car. A Murena, another Rancho, a Bagheera. I used to know someone had a Bagheera, 3 seats abreast in the front. Another 530 like the one we saw before. And then a Matra D-Jet, which is even older. I must have a look at the badge. (1966), mid-60s. And then we have a selection of Renault 5s, limited edition, a turbo, a TL. Has this got the umbrella gear change? Let's have a look. No, floor change. It's not as early as I thought. Le Car Special Edition. Yes, now this is an early one. An early TL with the orange interior, beautiful orange interior, and the umbrella gear stick coming out of the dash, and the circular steel ring seatbelt mounts with the how can I describe it? Push-on clips that go around the metal. So they changed a bit. So an early one. Very nice and very good condition. Challenger. Charger. And then over here, I mentioned before that the Vedette was also named different things depending on the spec. Well, this cream and red one, oh, and a green and white one behind it, cream and green one behind it. These are Chambord and actually being used by the Biscuiterie de Chambord as advertising vehicles. So it's the same car, just different levels of trim, different bumpers, and the green and the cream one is of course a convertible, and rather beautiful. It's a later one with the bigger wings. Proudly states V8 on the dash. Wonderful. And then in amongst all the exotica, we've got a Bond minicar.
signale qu'il y a un distributeur de billets de banque à l'entrée de l'allée principale.
Villiers engine in these. The whole engine unit under the bonnet turns with the steering wheel. It's mounted on a central pillar with a geared drive on top. So that huge steering wheel is probably needed because you're turning an awful lot of weight. Villiers two-stroke, as I said, tiny wheels. Right, now this show is huge. That's the part we just had a quick look at. And then we've got a bourse d'échange around here. And then there's a field in the far corner which is just filled with stuff, presumably people staying for the weekend. So I'll have a quick look around the bourse and then we'll head over and see what there is over there. So a nice Citroen AZ from 56. Accessory spotlights mounted on the main bar. Accessory front bumper and bumper overrider. Some Robries. Humpy little boot lid. So it's got a few extras. Oh, an accessory steering wheel as well. I don't know how well I'm able to see that, but it's got a very fancy steering wheel. Lovely. And then across the way, another Mahari. It's got 4x4 bumper, front and rear, but it doesn't look like a 4x4. Let's have a look. Just looks like a two-wheel driver to me. Yeah, it's just been fitted with the 4x4 bumpers, which are very stylish. Late one. Detachable front grille type with the later instrument panel. Now these reconditioned are making huge amounts of money now. They really are. I did have one for a time. They weren't great in the UK to drive about in, really cold and drafty, but I wish I still had it because the money they're making is unbelievable. And over here we've got the classic camping club, which I've seen these at a show before and they've got some really cracking stuff. So we've got a light grey traction, but look at the caravan behind it. 1951, wooden slatted blinds, the back end lifts up for ventilation. It's got a little tray that hangs over the back. Look at that. Little flower bed on the front, louvered window. What a fabulous little van. Look at the roof vent. Can you see the roof vent? Wow. It's got all the period features inside as well, the radios, everything. Probably too dark to show up. Fabulous little van. Congratulations to whoever rescued this. In fact, there's some pictures of the complete rebuild right down to the chassis. Fabulous. It's absolutely brilliant that people are willing to put this sort of effort in to say something that ultimately is probably not worth anywhere near the amount of money they spend on it. Brilliant. And then we have a more typical 60s caravan. Let's see if it says what year it is. Well, they were made between 60 and 90. Doesn't actually say what year this one is. Again, the back end completely lifts up, as is befitting for a caravan in a hot country. Basic. And then some period picnic gear, cooking gear. Another old caravan with a canvas roof, so presumably you can remove it entirely. Being pulled by a DS, which is a superb tow vehicle for a caravan. And then a folding caravan, is it? It's hard to tell. Let's have a look. No, it appears to be solid. So a very short, sharp peaked little caravan. God knows when that was made. And a slightly more standard early 60s style with the raised centre section. Presumably being towed by this Renault Galette. Oh, it's a Voltigeur. Sorry, I apologise. It's a Renault Voltigeur, which must be related to the Galette. Part next to this lovely old motorcycle, because his styling's very similar. Oh, and what you do with your Mercedes 609 is you want a bit more height. You nick what looks remarkably like the fiberglass top off a Volkswagen Type 25 and stick it on top. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Very clever. Cracking caravans, all 60s. Renault Domain, which is, I believe, is connected to the Frégate range. Estate. Yeah, Frégate Domain, in fact, says on the thing. 1957. Lovely. Now, in probably about 1981, 82, there was a Renault Frégate turned up at a scrapyard in Bury. And it was probably in similar condition to this. And nobody wanted it. I only found out about it later. And it got crushed. Never mind. Right, another little teardrop caravan. Don't know the make. Let's see if it's got a badge on. Caravan Weekend. Probably being tugged by this H-van, which has been a fire brigade H-van. Split screen, so it's an old one. 63. And then a tiny teardrop, which is much more modern, being pulled by an Acadian. And then some 604s. We had them as a V6 petrol. I don't think we had the diesels. I can't remember. Again, very stylish cars. Can't remember last time I saw one in the UK. Again, they rotted, sadly. This is a V6. Yeah. The petrol tanks surrounding the boot. The boot floor used to rot round the tanks, so the tanks could fall out. They did a turbo diesel as well, which was a very good car. But again, in the UK, the chances of ever finding one are slim to non-existent. 1977. Lovely 604. Another early Citroen. Convertible. Look at the period accessory petrol tank. C6 base again, I think, looking at it. And then the driver sat up front. And oh, it's a C4, 1929 C4 torpedo. And then the owners would sit back here, behind their own little screens. '16, love Renault 16s. More 8s and S this time. An Estafette, which again I would quite happily own. Very small engines, but stylish. But again, these have been rising in price because the price of H-vans makes alternatives also then rise. Alpine A10. Some 304s. Saloon Coupe Estate. How about this? A Hispano Suiza. Very early. Very, very early. There's nothing on it to indicate the actual year, but this is, I don't know. I'd love to find out, but it's very early. Wow. Next to a Matra Jet. And then the blue car, I think, is a Maserati. Yep, it is a Maserati. But what Maserati? Superleggera 3500 GT 1960. Leather interior. Beautiful. Well, you can't say that this hasn't got loads of interesting vehicles, that's for sure. Another Jet. The range of cars here is just stunning. We've got an early Ford next to a very early Amel car, which is absolutely tiny. Next to a Cadillac, and then an early Peugeot, pre-war. Ford Taunus, it's a relatively rare car. And then are these roomies. Yeah, Moto roomies, twin cylinder, 2-stroke. Very rare. And apparently, allegedly, very fast, the roomies. Carburetor sitting between your feet, between your legs, I should say. Forward kick, rocker pedal. Wow. And then a sporty one with dropped handlebars. Still got leg shields, so. Oh, it's got a British tax disc. Yeah, it's got a British tax disc, so it must have been in the UK at some time. Closed rear chain. Next to the roomies, we've got a couple of pre-war Peugeots again. Black one's a 201. And then is it a 302? Yeah, 302. The maroon one. Both pre-war, both 37. And then a 504 Coupe. Yet more oldies. We've got a Citroen C4 from the 20s. Had a Dion Bouton from 1912. Tiny Renault from about the same sort of era. And then one here, I've no idea what it is. I'm none the wiser from looking at the piece of paper that's stuck to the front of it, which just says Gladiator. I must look that up, I don't know what they are. And then another Citroen, very imposing bonnet line, 1934 Rosalie. A ZL. Another one I'm not that au fait with, a ZL. Something else I'll have to look up. And then a pre-war Peugeot. And back to Simcas and DS's.